and Gardner Webb. Gardner Webb's starting lineup. We should also shine the spotlight on Kareem Reed, the starting five-man who has been stellar so far this season. Here is Reed, his first offensive touch. Recently had a stretch, Coach Dunn, in which he made 20 field goals in a row, and he opens the scoring today for Gardner Webb.
Kareem Reed, very efficient, very confident right now as a player. Great finish underneath on the first possession offensively for Gardner Webb.
Chris Monroe dishes it inside, and the layup is good by Cameron Butler. He is one of the many transfers on this NC State team. Of the 10 in the rotation, 8 are transfers, including the entire starting 5.
Yeah, they had 8 seniors last year, Phil, and they brought in 11 new guys, some transfers, and 3 freshmen. They're still trying to find out who they are in terms of a basketball team right now.
And this NC Central program has been very good over the last few years out of the MEAC. Several conference championships as Maltzby comes up with the steal and lays it in to give North Carolina Central the lead.
Yeah, Phil, they've only been Division I for 12 years, but they've won 8 championships during those 12-year period. Coach Moulton's done a fantastic job with his program.
And we have our first foul of the game. It goes against Lance Terry. So 4-2 early on. North Carolina Central the lead. Here's another look at the foul. And a hold is called on the inside. Chris Monroe tried to receive the bounce pass on the entry, and Zion Williams wrapped him up and committed the foul for Gardner Webb.
Yeah, Monroe did a really good job of early positioning for the inbounds pass. Picked up a foul as a result.
North Carolina Central averaging 76.7 points per game. Lance Terry, the blocked shot, and Randy Miller Jr. up with the loose ball. And another foul. That's 3 fouls on 1 possession called against Gardner Webb. And that is 2 on Lance Terry as we take a check of the Ingles keys to the game, Coach Dunn.
Well, keys to the game for Gardner Webb is really doing a good job of guarding the dribbler, keeping him out of the paint, and rebounding the ball defensively. For North Carolina Central, they want to be solid on the defensive end and be connected offensively.
Anthony Selden has come on to replace Lance Terry, who's on the bench. Open look at a 3 is up and no good from Alex Caldwell. He's in his 2nd year at North Carolina Central. He transferred in from Southeast Missouri State. Kareem Reed wheeling inside. Jordan Sears, and the floater rolls off. Rebound to Chris Monroe. He transferred from Providence, Coach Dunn.
Yeah, transfer from Providence. Coach Moulton is looking for him to kind of find himself. You know, anytime you have this many new players, it's going to take a few games for guys to find their rhythm and their pace for the game.
And the foul is called against Alex Caldwell. And first one on him and NC Central. NC Central's last 2 games, are their only 2 wins this season. They came versus non-Division I's. Warren Wilson, 110-32 by almost 80. And the Apprentice School, 96-56 on Saturday. They are yet to beat a Division I team this year, and that is very unlike recent NC Central history as Cameron Butler comes up with the rebound.
Well, last year, Phil, they lost 8 seniors, and they basically had to put a new team together.
Not just 8 players, 8 seniors.
8 seniors.
In today's college basketball, that doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen very often at all, but due to COVID, that changed things, and Coach Moulton found himself bringing in 11 new guys.
Illegal screen is the call against Chris Monroe. There are the stats for this season. As you can see, the point of emphasis for Gardner Webb has been, or a point of struggle, I should say, has been the 3-point percentage.
That's exactly right. They're not shooting it as well as they would like to, but on the flip side of it, they're doing a good job of defending the three.
Kareem Reed has a lay-in, and he's got all 4 for Gardner Webb early on.
Gardner Webb making it a point of emphasis to play through Kareem Reed early on in this game.
He has had 3 games this season, Kareem Reed, as the layup comes from Chris Monroe. 3 games in which he hasn't missed a field goal. 2 of them he went 8 for 8. That is what has fueled the best field goal percentage in the country. Here is Kareem Reed. He gives it off to Damarian Williams.
Very unselfish player. Kareem Reed takes his time, reads the defense.
Anthony Selden knocks down an open 3.
Selden is a guy who, when he shoots the basketball field, it looks as if it's going to go in every time.
Here come the chance of defense and a steal to Damarian Williams. He'll back it out for the running Bulldogs. Inside to Reed. Shot blocked. Sears hoists. And that way off the mark, Selden the offensive rebound. Sears leaves for Reed. Oh, big time flush, Kareem Reed.
Kareem Reed, very aggressive off the offensive rebound. One of the keys to the game for North Carolina Central and Coach Moten was defensive rebounding.
Gardner Webb 2 offensive rebounds already today. And Kareem Reed has 6 of the team's 9. Reed the rebound off the missed 3 from Alex Caldwell, who is a phenomenal 3-point shooter at 53.8% this season. Samaro won't go, and the weak side board to Monroe.
Fast-paced game so far. They'll look both teams mirror each other where he likes it the most.
Ludovic Dufial comes on off the bench for Gardner Webb. 2nd game of the season for Dufial. Anthony Selden works his way inside and lays it in.
Really nice set coming out of a timeout by Gardner Webb. They run a double screen, a handoff, allows Selden to get to the basket, and he finishes.
From the corner, Mark Maltzby missed the 3, but the offensive rebound recovered by Randy Miller Jr. Following jumper doesn't go, and Zion Williams the rebound. He's coming off of a game Coach done in which he scored 10 points with 9 boards, 1 shy of a double-double.
Yes, he's been a really key guy for Gardner Webb. Look for him to really pick it up today.
Sears off balance. I thought maybe Nicholas Fennell caught a grip of the net. Pulled on the rim a little bit, no call. And the fight for the rebound is out of bounds. Coach, these 2 teams have not played in 35 years. This is just the 5th all-time meeting. They're separated by about a 3-hour drive. North Carolina Central up in Durham and Gardner Webb here in Boiling Springs.
Yeah, that's really surprising because they are so close. And obviously, it looks like they're trying to close the gap now by playing each other twice this season.
They're going to play each other in a span of 5 games for NC Central and 4 games for Gardner Webb. Next meeting is on December 15th. 3-pointer off the mark from Eric Boone, and another offensive board for NC Central.
Gardner Webb's gap in defense really causing problems for North Carolina Central.
Shot clock at 3, and Ludovic Dufial the block. There's a shot clock violation.
Ludovic, really good to get him back. Coach Kraft indicated he is the 2nd sheriff in town.
Well, the running Bulldogs had issues with depth at the post in the first handful of games this season. Imagine playing the now #1 team in the country, Duke, and Paolo Banchero, without depth in the post. It was Kareem Reed followed by freshman Adimide Badmans, and that was it. Ludovic Dufial back in the lineup. He is now in the first rotation of subs and the second 5-man off the bench. First off the bench, I should say, for Gardner Webb. And Zion Williams drops it in. And the running Bulldogs continue a run. It's a 9-0 run.
Zion Williams, another paint touch for Gardner Webb. They're doing an excellent job of getting the ball in the paint to score easy baskets.
Eric Boone, the bucket. Boone this season averages 7.8 points per game. Samaro kicks it across. Zion Williams 3. And that is his first made triple of the season.
Excellent basket cut by Samar. Received the pass, sucked the defense in, threw a corner pass opposite. Good three-point look for Gardner Webb.
It's a 12-2 run for Gardner Webb. Meanwhile, NC Central won for its last 7 from the field. 3 from the corner. That doesn't go from Asante Price, the Barton Community College transfer. Then he comes up with the steal of the outlet.
Well, North Carolina Central, on just about every possession, Phil, has done a good job of playing passing lanes for outlet passes to start their transition.
Eric Boone capitalizes on the free chance. Inside for Dufial, able to save it, but gives it away to Central. Fennell ahead to Maltzby.
Boy, 50-50 play right there by Samar, freshman. That leads to a run out. Again, you cannot guard turnovers.
Dufial pressured high on the floor by Samuel Kita. Williams contested, left-handed shot, no. And Dufial the rebounded lane.
Dufial making his presence felt early on the glass. Excellent offensive rebounder.
Hear the chance of defense from this crowd. Williams the rejection. Followed up by Kita, and it doesn't go. We've had some flow here in this first half of action. Williams off the pass fake. Miller. And the rebound by Damarian Williams.
Sometimes that little change can really take you out of your rhythm there, make you take a quick shot.
Kareem Reed off the long pass. So far it appears, although NC Central has some length, nobody able to defend Kareem Reed.
Kareem Reed has been a man who has been unable by the defense of North Carolina Central to be stopped tonight.
It's another 7-0 run for Gardner Webb.
Again, Gardner Webb, Phil, picked up where they left off the other night against Western Carolina with their stingy defense, turning it into offense.
Kareem Reed affects another shot. He's averaging 2 blocks a game. Damarian Williams for 3.
You got to pick him up across the half-court line, Phil. He's on fire tonight.
We mentioned the struggles from the three-point line Gardner Webb has had so far this season, as NC Central is called for an illegal screen. Shooting just 27% on the season, Gardner Webb. Last year, there were 3 guys on the roster who are back on this year's team who made 38 to 40% from the three-point line. Damarian Williams was one of them and coming alive in these last 2.
When you look at the history and you look at things that they do, you know, it's just a matter of time before shooters start making shots. Those guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Williams
behind the arc.
There's a third.
4 threes. 4 threes. Pick him up in the parking lot, Phil.
He is 3 for 3 from outside today. Gardner Webb has opened 5 of 8 from distance. It's a 13-0 run. And a jumper to end it by Justin Wright.
Boy, needed bucket there by Wright.
Williams, a little ambitious maybe.
Heat feeling it. That was a little bit of a heat check there, Phil.
Williams comes up with the steal. And now he's going one-on-one. And draws the foul.
Boy, gap defense by Gardner Webb with the stingy long arms created a lot of turnovers early on for the running Bulldogs.
Foul is called against Nicholas Fennell. And so That's 5 on North Carolina Central. Damarian Williams at the free throw line this season, now 13 of 15. He's originally from Phoenix, Arizona. As Ludovic Dufial comes into the game. He did a year at Putnam Science Academy, which has turned into a pipeline for Gardner Webb. Jaheim Cornwall, who's now a grad transfer with the Penn State Nittany Lions. Your Penn State Nittany Lions, Coach Dunn.
Yes, he is, and I understand he's doing a nice job with them.
He is. Jaheim Cornwall was the first, and every year since, over the last 5 years, Gardner Webb has taken at least one kid from Putnam Science Academy. Running Bulldogs recruit the Northeast heavily.
Coach Kraft has got the pipeline going for Putnam Academy.
Second chance points for Cameron Butler of what is otherwise becoming a physically dominated game by Gardner Webb as well. You can see it in the paint. Dufial had the block moments ago. Williams picks his way into
it. Sometimes when you're struggling from behind the arc, you know, you got to get it done in different ways, and he does.
Zion Williams takes the feed from Selden. A steal turned into points for Gardner Webb.
A little tip and a deflection out of the 1-3-1 turns into a run out. Once again, you can't defend it.
15 points off of turnovers today. This is turning into a rout early on. Wright picks his way inside, misses it long. Jordan Sears the rebound. The Gardner Webb run over the last nearly 4 minutes is 20-4.
Well, a big part of that is they've been getting, for the most part, what they want in the paint. Dribble drive from the top, dribble drive from the corners, and spot up threes.
Anthony Selden is fouled on his way to the rim.
Right here, good footwork by Selden here, doing a good job with the shot fake, gets to the rim, just can't finish it.
There's head coach Tim Kraft. He is in season number 9 as the head coach at Gardner Webb University. He was an assistant here, Coach Dunn. Left, came back as the head coach, and he has achieved history.
You know, one of the advantages, and I think is really, really important for people to know, is with Coach Kraft being an assistant here, he came back knowing and being familiar with the program and the landscape of the university and knew what type of a fit it was for him, and he's made it work in terms of building a program that he wants and maintaining the consistency that he wants.
Let's be honest, after that tournament run in 19, his name was in the rumor mill for some big group of 5, Power 5 jobs, and Tim Kraft is still here at Gardner Webb. And he'll tell you, he absolutely loves everything the institution stands for and what the experience he has had here in small Boiling Springs.
Well, with the job he's done, Phil, he's going to have a lot of people after him, and rightly so. You know, he's smart enough to understand what good fit means, and he's not going to go any place until, you know, it's time. But
you
right
know something.
now, Gardner Webb is the place for him.
As Kareem Reed hooks another in, you know something about being an assistant and becoming the head coach, because you were an assistant for what, 12 years at Penn State before you became the head coach?
Yes, and I tell you, it was beneficial. You know, I worked for a great coach and person in Bruce Parkhill, and you know, I was familiar with what the university was all about, what the town was all about. So that's important in recruiting, because you got to get guys that fit not only your program, they have to fit the university and the surrounding areas.
There is Lavelle Moten. He's a little bit of a celebrity in some communities, Coach Dunn. He has been at NC Central for 13 years, the tenure of the program's Division I era, and boy, has he had some success, huh?
He's had great success. He was there as a player, all CIAA, several years there as a basketball player, played in Europe. He has won 8 championships in the 12 years that they've been Division I since 2008.
Including a 3-year stretch in which they made the NCAA tournament consecutively, 17 to 19.
Exactly, and he's done that, you know, with very limited resources. You know, I've been on the campus, you know, they got 2 rims, and you try to have practice with just 2 rims in the arena, it's tough. You know, your player development, you got to really be imaginative and innovative. He's done a super job with limited.
Samaro gets the shooter's roll. Yeah, talk about names that have been mentioned for big jobs. Lavelle Moten is one of them, but he has stuck it out where he is one of the all-time great players in North Carolina Central history.
Another guy who understands what a good fit is and not moving until it's tight.
Another steal for Gardner Webb. And it's tipped out of bounds. Running Bulldogs will keep it. So it's 41-16 at the moment. And here's the three from the corner by Samaro.
Right now, the running Bulldogs are just that. They are running right now at full tilt, getting just about anything they want here on the offensive end.
Tamarian Williams. Sears, open, three, got another.
Little inside-out game versus the zone. Very good passing, a lot of passing with purpose. Inside-out leads to an open three.
The run is 13 in a row. Fall-away jumper, well contested, not there for Alex Caldwell, and Jordan Sears comes away with it for Gardner Webb. Running Bulldogs 7 of 11 from three today. Kareem Reed to the inside for another two.
Kareem by Gardner Webb.
Kareem Reed the block, but he lands out of bounds.
The long arms of the Sheriff. I tell you, he's getting a lot of perimeter jump shots.
This is the 6th block by Gardner Webb today.
Sometimes, Phil, it takes you at least a half to adjust to the length and the quickness of your opponent, and I think that's probably what's happening right now a little bit with North Carolina Central.
That was the 5th steal for the running Bulldogs. The defense is great. The three-point shooting's been better. 8 of 12 from outside. That's Samaro's second make. 49-16, inside of 4 to go in the first half.
And Bulldogs executing at a high clip during that segment. Came out of the timeout really focused and aggressive on both ends of the floor.
Cameron Butler is fouled, looking for the dunk. Selden called for a foul on that attempt.
Strong move to the basket there. They've got to get more of those in transition and in half-court offense. Get fouled, get to the free throw line, cut this thing down, you know, try to chip away at it, take the last 3 minutes here, close out as they would like to try to get this thing back to a manageable situation.
Nicholas Fennell, the free throw shooter on the season. Fennell is just 25%, 2 of 8 entering today, and he makes both of them. So 49-18.
North Carolina needs some stops. Little gap defense here. They've got length as well. They just have to do a good job of maintaining the dribbler. Good job right there. Great footwork, getting in position to take the charge.
Lavelle Moten, the head coach, across the way. He made the signal before the official did. A little bit of a late signal, but an offensive foul is the call against Gardner Webb. It goes against Jordan Sears.
Yeah, Boone, really good defense out there, about 25 feet from the basket.
Leon Williams into the game for the running Bulldogs for the first time today. Well, North Carolina Central, no field goals in the last nearly 5 minutes. What's got to change?
Well, again, they've got to attack the paint, try to get the ball to the rim, pick up some three-point plays, or at least get to the line, score some points while the clock is stopped.
Samaro down to the hardwood. Ludovic Dufial controls it. Meanwhile, the running Bulldogs on fire. 68% from the field today. Dufial will try a three. That doesn't go, and the rebound to Samuel Kita. Tie up, possession arrow keeps it with NC Central.
Nice job by North Carolina Central pushing the basketball. Someone's got to get it stopped between the free throw line and the timeline. No one ever picked the ball up.
2:30 to play in the first half. NC Central's last field goal came at the 7:54 mark. There's steal number 7 for Gardner Webb. And Samaro leans in to get the foul against Nicholas Fennell. Fennell was pointing down the floor, calling for an offensive foul against Samaro.
One of the things
take a look. Kind of leaned into him, kind of drew the call.
Yeah, that's one that could go either way, Phil, I think. Okay.
Samaro gets his own miss. Running Bulldogs had everybody back, and Julian Samaro, the shooter, came up with the free throw.
Free throw blockouts. Free throw blockouts. Really, really important. As a coach, it's like a knife in the back.
I think it's easy to become dejected when on the losing end of this kind of result so far, and it's barely into the game. However, as that pass is fired and ricochets off Kita and out, the turnover will go to Nicholas Fennell. However, that just can't happen when your opponent isn't even lining up to retrieve the rebound.
Yeah, and Phil, what I think you're seeing here is what Coach Moten talked about is, you know, the connectivity or lack thereof right now with so many new guys. And it's going to take them a few more games, I think, to feel comfortable and guys know what they're doing and they start to, you know, read each other. Tonight, probably not what he is looking for, I'm sure, but I think they'll get it together and play better in the second half.
Gardner Webb wins another.
It's going to be a tough night for opponents.
I just can't help but dwell on how dominant this effort has been at both ends of the floor. Leon Williams, a deflection.
Again, length, jumping in passing lanes, anticipating passes out of his zone or man. They've done an excellent job with that tonight, Phil.
The three behind the screen, that finally goes for Alex Caldwell. First made triple today for Central, now 1 of 9.
One of the better looking threes from behind the arc that Caldwell's had tonight.
A team that shoots at 31% from 3 this season, an average mark. Kareem Reed dispossessed by Caldwell, and a chance for Central. In transition, Leon Williams the block. Damarian Williams, quick trigger. Halfway down and out. Williams keeps the possession alive. And then a foul committed. Chasing after the rebound by Kareem Reed.
Hustling defense on this end by the running Bulldogs. And they get a good look at the basket for a walk-in three in transition. Just couldn't get it to go down.
By the way, that Damarian Williams' first miss from 3 today. And that sends Caldwell to the line, where he'll shoot 1 and 1. Caldwell just 4 of 7 at the free throw line this season. Southeast Missouri State transfer that we mentioned earlier. Spent 2 years at Southeast Missouri. Pretty good player. Averaged 11.7 and 3.1 assists per games, which were both top 20 marks in the Ohio Valley Conference. Before transferring to NC Central, where last year he didn't play very much, only 6 games. And now he has started every game this season, all 7 of them now.
Very quick and fast play in transition. Got to build a wall to get him stopped early.
What's the discussion here? I guess the foul count. The question was the foul count on Gardner Webb. As you see on the scoreboard, it is updating quickly.
Yeah, they thought they were in the penalty.
So
shooting
2, but instead it was a 1 and 1. And the front end missed, and so now Gardner Webb will take it. See if they hold for 1. I would think they would on this massive lead. About a 5-second difference game and shot clock.
Yep, they want to finish this possession offensively and the first half. They want to finish it with a very strong and solid play.
Julian Samaro called for over the back, or over and back, I should say. Just kind of lost the handle of the basketball himself. Tomorrow, a freshman from the Bronx.
A little too laxed out front. Didn't protect the basketball. Certainly not what you want going into halftime.
8 seconds left. Here is Miller. Air ball comes up short. Our impact player for North Carolina Central goes 0. The lead in the first half was as many as 33 points. Lance Terry didn't play much of that first half due to foul trouble. Demarion Williams, who misses a 3, led the running Bulldogs with 14 points. So think about that, Coach Dunn. One of their best guards, maybe their best guard, Lance Terry, barely played in the first half.
That's scary, really scary.
Here's Alex Caldwell. Blocked at the rim by Reed, and Sears comes up with the loose ball. That's block number 8 today for Gardner Webb. And for Kareem Reed, number 4.
Right idea by Caldwell and North Carolina Central. They've got to get more stuff at the rim, but you got long arms down there, and you got to take it up and finish strong.
Now, if there was a positive, first half ended on a 5-0 run for NC Central.
Got to have more of those runs. Got to have some consecutive defensive stops.
Pivoting inside, Chris Monroe.
Boy, I thought Monroe got away with a little bit of a walk there, but good patience shown by him. Strong finish at the rim.
He's a good player. Raleigh native, averages just shy of 7 points and a little over 5 rebounds per game. He's one of the better ones on NC Central at playing both ways. Zion Williams turns down the 3 in the corner, and then a foul is called late on Monroe.
Boy, Monroe did a nice job of showing on that curl screen, taking away a pass for Williams, but a little out of control on the closeout in the corner.
That's personal foul number 3 on Monroe. Demarion Williams, a deep try. That's not there. Offensive rebound, Kareem Reed. Backing down, and Reed is fouled. This on Cameron Butler.
Boy, just salt on the wound. You do a nice job of defending the three-point shot there, and you allow an offensive rebound. Just a dagger.
So Kareem Reed to the line, where this season he shoots it 66.7%, 2/3 of his attempts he has converted this season. And a 2-for-2 trip for Kareem Reed. I should also make this note. I mentioned earlier that Kareem Reed was number 1 in the country in field goal percentage. As of last night, he dipped to number 2, and he is only behind Zach Edey of number 2 Purdue for field goal percentage this season.
Yeah. You know, a big part of that is it's a two-part. Reed is getting to his spot, and then the passes are doing a good job of getting in the basketball.
The jumper good from Miller. Our impact player, team's leading scorer, has his first 2 points of the game. Also in that sequence, Jordan Sears was assessed a flop warning for Gardner Webb. Reed lowers to the basket, and the possession arrow will send it down the floor to NC Central.
A little curl action right there by Williams reading the screen. Nice little dump off bounce pass to Reed. Good defense by Central.
Caldwell turns and fires. He can really shoot it from distance tonight. He's just 1 of 5.
Just one of those nights when North Carolina Central turns and shooting the basketball from behind the arc. I know that they're a much better team than they're playing right now.
Sears the floater. Highlighted this at halftime. They were preseason number 3 in the league, North Carolina Central. Offensive foul called against Caldwell.
Yeah, very glaring on Caldwell there with the offensive foul. I thought he got away the last offensive possession with a push-off, but wasn't called.
Reed to Terry wide open.
Nice backdoor cut by Terry.
Here's Randy Miller Jr. Caldwell, deep possession. And finally a foul is called as Monroe goes tumbling. It's on Lance Terry, that's his third.
Lance Terry, his third, team's first. Checking in for Gardner Webb.
Well, Terry having a tough night tonight, moving his feet, gets called for that foul.
Selden and Duffy all come in to replace Terry and Reed. Maltzby kicks it out. Miller, this is a fairly open look, off the mark. And the fight for the rebound comes to Caldwell. Off balance, gets it to go.
Tough shot, tough finish by Caldwell off the offensive rebound. Good defense and good help on this possession, but the offensive rebound was tough to guard.
Caldwell 0 of 1 at the line so far today. Just 5 free throw attempts in total for North Carolina Central. As a team, Central this season shoots it 63%.
Phil, one of the reasons why offensive rebounding is so key.
Talk to me.
A defensive rebound is you don't want to allow a team a second shot after you played great defense. And for the most part, teams shoot almost 50% on offensive rebounds, whether it's inside or whether it's kicked out 4-3.
Williams is grabbed and a foul, blocking foul.
Job there, zoning up the baseline out of bounds. Picked off a high post pass there. Let's see if they can convert.
Step back jumper from Chris Monroe is off the mark. And an over the back foul is called on Maltzby. North Carolina Central shooting all of 32% in this game, 12 of 37. And I think this is always an indicative number, just 3 assists on those 12 field goals. Just 1/4 of their makes have been assisted. Marion Williams sifting through traffic. Off for Zion Williams and the left-handed finish.
Good penetration, excellent pass, strong finish. All of that created, Phil, by high ball screen action at the middle of the floor there. Allowed Williams to get in the lane.
On the flip side, Coach Dunn, 15 assists on 22 makes for Gardner Webb.
Well, just high percentage shots, mostly coming in the lane or mid-range, or either kickouts for 3. Really efficient offense tonight by the running Bulldogs.
Foul called against Cameron Butler. That is his 4th and the team's 6th here in the second half. And Samuel Kita will come on. Butler comes out of the game. He's the first to 4. Largest lead today for Gardner Webb is 33. Back in the first half. Dufial travels.
Good aggressive defense right there by North Carolina Central. Gardner Webb running a 1-4 high, making the entry passes a little higher out on the floor, try to relieve some of the pressure by North Carolina Central and their length on the floor defensively.
Nothing home on the inside against the zone. Here is Caldwell. And a foul called. Illegal screen on Monroe.
But running Bulldogs went 2-3 there, and I really think North Carolina Central missed a good opportunity there on a high post entry pass down to the low block. Thought he had the low block offensive player teammate open, but just didn't make the pass. Thought that was one he missed there for scoring opportunity.
Does that come from all the moving parts and the new faces.
Absolutely.
All the additions in the offseason.
Yeah. Trust your teammate. Got to get to the point where you're trusting your teammate.
Feeds Dufial. The lead is 31 again. And NC Central in a scoring drought of more than 2 minutes.
Well, I think the development of these young players from one year to the next, okay, it's going to be a thrilling year for running Bulldog fans.
Zion Williams thought about it, drives it. Shot was blocked by Keita. Samaro is open. This is a deep try. That's the third made three today for Julian Samaro. And the lead has hit its largest, 34.
Created by Dufial and his unselfish play, Phil. Had a chance to go back up, kicked it out. The defense was sucked in. Samari walk-in three.
Fight for the rebound. A foul called on Zion Williams. Knocked down Samuel Keita. Look at this possession again, Coach Dunn. You say it all the time. Offensive rebounds, you're going to make more than 50% of your attempts afterwards.
Without question. Defense is scrambling in a scramble mode. They're trying to get to the three-point shooter. Tough to do on a rebound kickout.
What will most teams shoot from three? 50% on an offensive rebound?
Pretty close, Phil, if not.
And miscommunication leads to the
Key
turnover.
to that is you want the right guy to shoot it.
Like Julian Samaro, who's the team's best three-point shooter. Gardner Webb now on a 7-0 run. Hit 5 of its last 6 from the field. The scoring drought continues for NC Central, and the route was on a long time ago.
Because of the wing pressure defensively by Central, Gardner Webb doing a nice job of entering the offense through the high post.
Sears comes up short. Here's Eric Boone. He's a transfer from Georgia Southern. Boone again. Rejected by Selden. It wasn't even close. And then Dufial. Fight for the loose ball, and the running Bulldogs are on the run.
Phil, running Bulldogs are giving a clinic on the defensive end with their stingy perimeter defense, their aggressiveness at the rim on block shots, turning it into a run out, and excellent transition defense, possession, offensive possession.
They have 11 blocks today, Gardner Webb. Three-pointer off the mark from Randy Miller Jr. Running Bulldogs on the move again. Julian Samaro.
Defense, defense, defense.
Timeout NC Central. I don't think anyone saw this kind of route coming. It's getting physical on the end.
Gardner Webb in great defensive position all night long. Shot goes up on penetration. There are 2 and 3 hands on the basketball. They turn it into points on the other end. Excellent bounce pass in transition for the finish.
It's an 11-0 run for Gardner Webb. Ludovic Dufial, just his second game back from injury. Coach Dunn, we mentioned at the top of the show just how much that meant to head coach Tim Kraft and his team to have Ludd, as they affectionately call him, back in the rotation. Webb comes up with the rebound, and the running Bulldogs currently on an 11-0 run.
Gardner Webb comes out in a 2-3 zone in that possession. Good penetration by North Carolina Central, but they get a heavily contested three-point shot.
Lance Terry misses the three. Anthony Selden gives it a try from the corner. Anthony Selden now 2 of 2 from 3 today. Gardner Webb as a whole 10 of 19.
Not many clouds today, Phil, in Boiling Springs, but right now they're raining threes from the running Bulldogs. They've been very hot, very hot tonight. Tough to stop from behind the arc.
Well, this is by far the best shooting performance of the season for Gardner Webb, who was coming off of previously its best shooting performance. Reed skips it across. Selden from the same spot. And the rebound to Kita. That's not sustainable. 50+% from three. No one's going to shoot that for a season or even in big games sometimes. But it's the defense of Gardner Webb that has been most remarkable, holding NC Central to 27% shooting and 1 of 14 from distance.
That's the X factor tonight, Phil.
Just 3 on the shot clock. Got to go. Falling away, Fennell. Wow. That's something for just the second made 3 today for NC Central.
Very good defense, but better offense on that possession, Phil.
Also ended a 5-minute field goal drought for NC Central. We're going to end it in style, right?
Without question.
Right here.
Boy, end of the shot clock, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Had to take it under duress, but knocks it down.
Ludovic Dufiol in his face has a 7+ wingspan. That's out of bounds, and North Carolina Central will keep it.
With Terry with a good, quick first step, splits the defense, just couldn't hold on to it.
Selden stuffed at the rim, but a foul is called against Asante Price. And so Anthony Selden will head to the free throw line.
Well executed.
Or no?
Well executed play there. Get the ball to Selden. He's met at the rim. Couldn't finish it, but he gets to the line. He'll shoot a couple.
That's the 3rd free throw miss today for Anthony Selden. He's now 0 of 3 at the line today. Product of Boston, Massachusetts. Younger brother of Wayne Selden, the New York Knick and former Kansas Jayhawk standout. He went to the Tilton School, Anthony Selden. We spoke earlier about Putnam Science Academy and how Gardner Webb recruits the Northeast. Tilton plays in that same league. Bunch of prep schools up in New England that head coach Tim Kraft will tell you, that's where I find my players at this small school in North Carolina. That league has produced some great players.
Very fine schools up there, very competitive. And I think Coach Kraft has found a gold mine up in the New England area, and he's going to continue to go to it to get players that can do the things that these guys are doing tonight here.
Well, there's a lot of great high school basketball in North Carolina, but Coach Kraft will tell you, for a small school that's really little known on the grand scheme, with all the great Power Fives in this state, it's hard to pull the best players from North Carolina. You have to be creative, and that is one of the pathways that he has found, is recruiting some of the prominent leagues of the Northeast.
Yeah, in recruiting, you have to find your niche, and you got to find an area that you can pull from, and certainly New England's been one of those pipelines for Coach Kraft and his staff, and they've done a great job with it.
Marion Williams, against all the length inside, gets his own miss and gets fouled.
Williams is going to get fouled in there. I mean, he's one of the tougher guards that I've seen in this league and this year around the rim. I mean, he's very strong and aggressive, and he's got a body type that lends itself to physical play, and he's going to pick up some fouls.
That 27-point performance from Damarian Williams 2 games ago versus Columbia International was a career high. He responded with 25 versus Western Carolina. He has 3 total 20-point games this season. Scored 21 in the season opener versus UNLV, a game that Gardner Webb nearly pulled the upset of a Mountain West Conference foe, one of the big brand names in college basketball. Down of late, but still would have been a huge win. And maybe that was the precursor of what we should expect from this Gardner Webb team. Because playing against like competition now, 2 consecutive games, the running Bulldogs winning in blowouts. Zion Williams rebounds the miss from Keita.
Well, another possession offensively for North Carolina Central. I thought they had a chance to go to an open post player, and they chose to take a contested shot. That's been the story a little bit tonight, Phil, and that's just comes from the connectivity or lack thereof for Central tonight.
The lead is 40. The largest lead today is 41. Here's a Dimity bad miss. First offensive touch, feeds it to Sears, and missed it off the cut.
Good unselfish play by Badmus.
Had the 11th most social media engagements in the month of October 2021, the most recent month that was tracked. You know who's ahead of him? John Calipari, Eric Musselman, all the Power 5 head coaches. He was the highest by far of the smaller college coaches on the list.
Well, he certainly has a reputation that precedes itself as a guy who does things the right way, a guy who coaches for the right reasons. And because he's done such a great job where he is, and people respect that, they identify with it, and he uses his platform with a purpose, and for good purpose. You know, whether it's social change, whether it's about his faith, or whether it's about things in the community, I think he does an excellent job with that, and getting his points across and being a conduit for good.
He is very much known for some of his community engagement and community service events. Lavelle Moten, he's built a very successful program at NC Central. And given all the turnover, maybe it's not fair to judge him this early on in the season. Program, again, that has won 8 championships in 14 years of Division I basketball.
They got hit very hard by COVID last year and probably just recovering from that.
Foul on Lance Terry. Julian Samaro comes into the game. See if our crew could show us. Jordan Sears just limped his way all the way off the court holding his right ankle. That's
looks like he rolled his ankle there, Phil.
Not a welcome sign if you're a Gardner Webb fan. Samaro comes up with the rebound off the miss by Miller. Our player to watch at the start of the game, the team's leading scorer, Randy Miller, 1 of 11 from the field today.
Yeah, Gardner Webb's done a really good job on him tonight. Just made every shot a tough shot for him.
Zion Williams. Off for Terry. 5 on the shot clock. Williams will shoot. This is a long 2. His foot was on the line and way off. Monroe, not there. Rebound, DeMarion Williams. 16 points and 7 rebounds for DeMarion. A bad miss through traffic. Gets the contact.
Another really good pass out of transition to Badmus, who's got great position on the low block down there. And that's one of the best times to get it to your big guys, and is in transition if they do a good job of running the floor and establishing themselves early.
Right there behind the corner of the bleachers, that's Jordan Sears getting his right ankle wrapped up. Trip Hastings is the athletic trainer for the Gardner Webb running Bulldogs. There's a really good shot of it.
Yeah, I would think this is probably it for Sears tonight. I know the coach probably doesn't want to get him back in on that ankle. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to clear his bench here shortly.
5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. A Dimity bad miss, the freshman from Lynn, Massachusetts, at the free throw line. And it's no good. Boone brings it ahead for NC Central. Yeah, when we were doing our prep for this game, Coach Dunn, and I thought this was a positive trait for NC Central's team, the scoring is spread around really well. And no one scorer averages more than 15% of the team's offense, right?
Yeah.
Foul at the rim.
And that's a staple of Coach Moten. I mean, he's a guy that wants his team connected, and one of the ways you're connected is to spread the wealth around. And also that has an effect on the defensive end as well. So the more games they play together, this will come to fruition probably middle of their conference play, and you'll see a totally different team.
Zion Williams, by the way, in front of the play, not Lance Terry behind, was called for the foul. Free throw from Miller is around and off. Randy Miller, the team leading scorer, 12 points per game so far this season. And the scoring today is indicative of how well the scoring has been spread around. The leader in this game is Caldwell with 6 and Boone with 6. 8 different players have scored, despite the lopsided scoreboard, and only 34 points that NC Central has pushed up. Activity Badmus lays it in.
Really good interior pass in there. Great bounce pass to Badmus, the freshman. He's got soft hands, Phil. Very nice finish underneath for him.
And the Badmus is called for his second foul, the team's 8th. Free throws here for NC Central.
Boy, Badmus is a good-looking freshman.
It's Miller back to the free throw line. He is now 2 of 3 at the line today.
Little pressure here by Central, trying to speed the running Bulldogs up a little bit. They do a nice job of handling it. Gardner Webb doing very few things wrong tonight, Phil. He's playing excellent basketball.
Kita off the feed from Boone. Nice play for NC Central.
Yeah, nice action. They get the ball inside to the big fella. Nice finish underneath.
Foul called. And it's Julian Samaro for grabbing. I guess he grabbed the defender guarding him on the entry pass. Let's see. Yeah, he kind of hooked him and drew the contact. Miller kicks it out. Price splashes for 3. And now a foul is called on NC Central. Same kind of play.
A little physicality underneath on the inbounds there.
So take a look at this.
Jockeying for position here to get the basketball inside, creates that foul.
So walk it all the way to the other end of the floor. Julian Samaro will take the free throw. Julian Samaro has 14 points. Samaro, just a freshman, his second career college game, he scored 20 at then 16th ranked Arkansas.
Once again, great recruiting.
Let me ask you this question, with 4:17 left in this game and what looks like just a resounding victory, a blowout that we probably didn't expect coming into this game. What kind of message does this send to the rest of the Big South, to the rest of college basketball for the lower levels in this region?
In very few words, Phil, the running Bulldogs are going to be a problem.
(78-43). Largest lead today for Gardner Webb is 41. Miller, turnover, and then Samaro is called for an intentional foul.
Well, North Carolina Central comes out of that situation there, and they go 1-3-1, trap the ball at the top there, and that creates the turnover. Samaro trying to get it back, realizing that he had been a little careless with the basketball there, Phil. Intentional foul, puts him on the line, stops the clock.
Miller makes the first free throw.
Great learning situations right here for young players. Coach Kraft takes him over on the side. I'm sure that's what he's talking to him about. You learn, you move on, you'll be better the next game.
Here is Miller. Redshirt senior, guarded by the freshman Leon Williams.
Phil, I've really been impressed with Leon Williams' defense. He really moves his feet well, anticipates.
Missed the second. When we spoke with Tim Kraft this week, Coach Dunn, he said, we may play NC Central on December 15th, a little over 2 weeks from now, and 5 games from now. Excuse me, for Gardner Webb, it's 4 games from now. We aren't going to hold back. We aren't going to hide anything as Terry tries to shoot over the zone and hits it with 3 on the shot clock. We aren't going to hold anything back. We're going to show our hand. We're going to try and win. We're going to play our best. Foul of a 3-point shooter. Price makes it. He'll head to the line to complete a 4-point play. Leon Williams got him. I don't know that Coach Kraft is too concerned about showing too much today, though.
Well, no, I think as a coach, you want to win games. You want to win games whether they're away or whether they're at home. So you certainly got to capitalize when you're at home, take care of business, and then you go on the road and you play your best game and give it your best shot.
Little stretching zone from NC Central late in the game.
Again, another possession of 1-3-1 there by North Carolina Central. Gardner Webb does a nice job of getting the ball to the middle, which is where you can't allow it to get, and that really allows for a low post pass, which they took advantage of on that possession.
Kita hacked Adimide, bad miss. So 2 free throws here for Adimide with 2:55 to play.
Well, I'm going to put Adimide on the all-hands team.
Here's Gardner Webb's upcoming schedule, Coach Dunn. One of those big games, those money games they call them, versus East Carolina is the next game. And then you see at the bottom of the schedule, NC Central again. Turnover by Selden. Boone to the rim. Oh, that was pretty.
Nice finish by Boone.
Wow. Playing well down the stretch here, NC Central. 4 for their last 4 from the field.
Another possession of 1-3-1 here, Phil. They've got to keep that middle protected. And what you do is you flash your guy or you penetrate that first line of defense. Nice tip in.
Leon Williams.
Tough block out responsibilities out of your 1-3-1. You got to find guys and get bodies on them.
And it's out to Gardner Webb. Tim Kraft has emptied the bench. In comes Tolan Wright. He is a fan favorite, as you can see. Here's the NC Central upcoming schedule, by the way. This is the first of 3 straight non-conference road games versus Big South teams. USC Upstate, UNC Asheville next. And then the Citadel. It's 4 straight on the road for NC Central.
Well, Central, first 14 games, 11 of them on the road. They really challenged themselves playing up in terms of competition, obviously. They will be a team that will look forward to being at home.
NC Central with losses to Memphis and Iowa as part of their preseason slate. Well, we mentioned this at the top. It's so tough to judge these teams sometimes this time of year. Prior to the Western Carolina game on Saturday and NC Central here today, Gardner Webb had only beaten non-D1s and lost to some of the best teams in all of college basketball. And the exact same thing can be said for NC Central. There's one outlier setback on NC Central's resume, and that was a loss to Alabama State in overtime a few games ago. But otherwise, it has been losses to schools like Memphis and Iowa, and then wins over Warren Wilson and the Apprentice School, two non-Division ones.
Yeah. And they were competitive in those games and very close in the first half, I think, at Iowa. I think tonight is an aberration, and largely because of the way that Gardner Webb has played. I mean, they forced him into a lot of turnovers, shot the ball very well, and executed on the offensive end. Credit Gardner Webb.
NC Central forces a turnover. A minute 45 to play here at Paul Porter Arena. Shot up from Price. And Asante Price has his third made three. Ties Miller for a team-high 9. The deficit now 30. Again, the largest today was 41. Reached 33 in the first half. It has been pretty much a one-sided affair the whole way. Jumper on the baseline by Badmiss, not there. Waltzing down the floor right. He got hit hard.
But what the 1-3-1 does, Phil, again, it takes away the middle and dribble penetration from the top. If you can skip the basketball to the weak side and attack down low or hit the middle again and look low, it's very effective. They do a good job of coming up with the rebound and good rim attack on the opposite end.
Wright makes the free throw. John Regalia comes on for Gardner Webb, so Tim Kraft has fully emptied his bench.
Talking to Coach Moten, Phil, he likes this team, and it's just a matter of time before they get it together.
Toller Reif misses the lay-in. Top was about to come off this place. They love Toller. Toller, a former member of the developmental team, the JV team, if you call it. Gardner Webb does have one of those. Not every school nowadays does, and he has earned his way onto the varsity team. And that is much the reason why the fans love him so much.
Great to see, and they want to see him score.
They wanted to see him pull the trigger on a transition 3 there. That didn't happen. Still got about 20-second difference game and shot clock, so.
Gardner Webb being very patient, running the shot clock down. Very classy move on the part of Coach Kraft.
Right, missed the 3. Right to the basket for the lay-in. And once this inbounds comes in, Gardner Webb can dribble out the clock. This is back-to-back dominant efforts versus in-region D1s. This maybe even more so.